Welcome to this PSoC 4 voltmeter tutorial demo. We're mainly wanting to make this to be a soldering tutorial, but it's really got a target result. We're creating a voltmeter based on a PSoC 4 prototyping kit. So here's the finished product, at least in rough form. It's not really a fully finished voltmeter, but it's functioning as one. You can see that the red little prototyping kit, which with legs soldered on, looks like this. These are only $4 boards. This little board getting power from a USB cable, liquid crystal display that's showing PSoC 4 and actually about this is millivolts, so that's about 4.9 volts. 4.98 is the potentiometer that's used is tweaked up to the full 5 volts. Later on, when we want to run from a battery, we'll have a regulator here, and then a potentiometer, one for the testing the unknown voltage coming in of the voltmeter, and then this one is for the brightness and contrast on the screen. So that's our target, what we want to create, but we need to do some soldering of two things. So let me explain what else is on the table here. When we first start with the PSoC 4 prototyping kit, it comes without any headers soldered on, and so we will need to, as you see, we will need to solder on the two headers, and these are purchased separately. And so you can see one that's finished but not plugged in yet. We only need it to go that certain length. We don't need it to go beyond onto the little programming portion of the board. Similarly, we're using a liquid crystal display. It's the UC-Tronics Arducam. This was purchased on Amazon, about $5.50. And it also comes, it's a pretty nice display, but it comes with needing some soldering. And notice this one comes packaged. They've got their own header and the potentiometer that you need to hook up for the contrast. Now in the process, of course, we need solder. This happens to be lead tin. I think that's 63%/37%, about this thickness. And we're going to practice some soldering using a perf board with some headers underneath. And after we clip and size the headers, we end up having some smaller ones that we can use for practice purposes. A pair of diagonal cutters. And sometimes in order to make good wire, when it's a stiff wire, we want to make a good angled bend, we can use the needle nose pliers. Later on, if we needed to somehow remove solder, this is called the soldering sucker. And we would put the iron up next to a pin and the tip of the solder sucker and let it go, and it sucks that out. And in some cases, we might need to use a magnifying glass and a third hand. And I think and of course we have the iron, the soldering iron, and we'll come to that in our next part 2 of this tutorial. Thank you.